The calls of nature have been louder than ever as the days get longer and warmer and brighter. I've been answering this call as often and as embodied as I can, fully immersing myself in my surroundings and allowing nature to simply do the rest. Something I love about this place is that we have both the wild and sometimes ferocious sea to our west, but further east, further inland, we have the most tranquil and peaceful streams and waterfalls and rivers. The sound of them gently flowing over smooth rocks really taps me into my feminine yin energy and heals me. I think I feel the most connected to nature when I am in or near a body of water. And I think the different energies of different bodies of water can leave you feeling so many different ways. Fresh water, cleansing, restorative, gentle, peaceful. Salt water, powerful, energetic, fiery, fearless. The stillness of a lake versus the rushing tundrance of a river, of a waterfall. One of the most powerful practices that I know that I practice daily is to simply learn the lessons that the water has to teach me, to sit near it and listen. And to absorb the lessons that it has to teach me. These are the lessons of water. This is the healing of water.
Slide the hands underneath, toes push into wrist creases. Exhale, pull down. So feel this closed off space.
Good morning. It is Sunday. It's a beautiful day. It is so sunny and the surf is really nice. So I'm gonna go out and meet some friends of mine down on the beach outside of our house and go for a little surf sesh. The surf has been nice for the last 2 days and it's just been so good to get in the water. The first day that I went back, I was just felt like such a kook. I was falling off all the time. People were trying to help me by calling me into waves and all that jazz, and it was just really funny. And then yesterday I just had the best surf, so gonna go out again today with Liz. Just feeling so thankful for the sunny weather and friends and just life. I've had a lot of thoughts in the last couple of days that have just been false narratives or some sort of story that my mind is trying to play out that's just totally not true, and it's been happening fairly off and on, but more regularly than usual, just around relationship. My relationship with Daniel has been stable for the last how like decade. We've been together for 11 years coming up in February, so I feel like my relationship with him is always pretty solid. I've always kind of struggled with friendships. I never really knew my place within a friendship circle when I was younger. I always kind of was friends with lots of different people, but never to like one group, and so I never really felt like part of a group of friends. And even in the friendships that I did have, I think there was always a part of me that never really wanted to get too close, or if I was close and there was any signs of anything going wrong, I would just like pull myself away really quickly. And it's just like a self-defense mechanism of mine that I have come to understand, is that the minute I can sense any kind of withholding on the other party's part, I will retract myself really quickly from it. And it's mostly never really true. It's all just in my head. I kind of feel like I notice like an energy change or whatever, and I just want to like pull away before they pull away. And I kind of had a moment the last couple of days where I was just able to witness these thoughts and witness my feelings of wanting to retract and draw back and distance myself before I was the one that got rejected. Almost like if I reject them first, or if I pull away first, then it feels easier to deal with because they're not the ones rejecting me. And I just think it stems from my childhood, my young teenage years. Not that I was ever rejected by my family or by my friends, but I never really felt like I was being heard, or that I was fully accepted. Always kind of talked over when I was younger, and I think it just kind of ended up snowballing into me feeling like I didn't have anything of value to add to people's lives. And so whenever someone would talk louder than me or like jump in while I was speaking, I just would pull back. And it's just like a escalation of that now, where if someone is going through some stuff maybe, and they're not necessarily, we don't, like, our relationship doesn't feel as close as it did before, I kind of feel like it's maybe a reflection of me, or like maybe they're mad at me or I did something wrong, and I have this instinct to just like really pull back and distance myself, or just like kind of shut the relationship down, which isn't healthy. It's nice to kind of have finally realized that habit and to sit with it, and instead of acting on those feelings, to just acknowledge them as feelings that are passing through, that are derived from false narratives that my mind is telling me. And then instead of acting from a place of trauma or based out of my samskaras, I can come back to presence and consciousness and being, and then take action in alignment. And I have found that it's been so much more beneficial. Instead of pulling myself away from a relationship, I instead reach out and just offer to, I don't know, do something. Like, hey, do you want to have a cup of coffee? Hey, do you want to go have dinner? Or like, do you want to, you know, just like have a chat or whatever? And then usually I have a chat and they're like, oh, it was so nice to talk to you. Thanks for like thinking of me, or like thanks for hanging out. And it's like, oh yeah, like the narratives that are in your mind aren't reality. It's a lot of actually your just trauma response and your mind trying to defend its ego, or defend the ego. So yeah, it's just been something that I've had the last couple of days, been going through, and it's hard, but it is like beneficial once you sit through it. It's the thing with like a lot of like mindfulness practices, is that it can be really hard, but it's the consistency of showing up and of witnessing and coming back to being. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to put some more sunblock on my face, and then gonna go out and have a little paddle around with my friends. And yeah, I guess I'll see you in a bit. excited? New place, new smells.
Baby, don't move now. Baby, don't move. You gotta stand still right now, where I can see you. There's a feeling in my heart so strange. Baby, I don't want you to change. Just stay the same, and everything will be okay. Promise I will always wait for you to go and find your own way. We don't have no time to lose. As the sun passes, I will always say my time for you. Baby, don't move now. Baby, don't move. You're a part of me now. And it's hard sometimes, 'cause I know that when you love someone, you should let them go. And everything will be okay. Promise I will always wait for you to go and find your own way. We don't have no time to lose. As the sun passes, I will always say my time for and everything will be okay. Promise I will always wait for you to go and find your own way. We don't have no time to lose. As the sun passes the moon, we don't have no time to lose. As the sun passes the moon, I will always say my time for you. Baby, don't move.
This oracle deck, the Psychic Tarot. My friend actually gave it to me back in my uni days, which is a lifetime ago, and they still speak to me so much. And it's funny because I feel I got into card readings and oracle cards and crystals back when I was about like 20 or like 18, 19, 20. It's only been just recently that I've been really pulled to pick them up again. They just sort of remind you of things that are already really deep within you. Sometimes we just need reminders, and sometimes we actually have all of the answers already within us and we just need a little nudge in the right direction. And I feel oracle cards are a really beautiful way of doing that. I think I've had a lot of fear surrounding allowing myself to go deeper into like my spiritual practices just out of judgment. If it works for you and if it deepens your practice and brings you closer to source, then no one else really has to understand it, as long as it's not hurting anyone. And that comes back to ahimsa, you know, do no harm.
Thank